because I'm taking this very, very seriously.
Are you about to take your shirt off? What is up, everybody? It's Katie Austin here, and welcome back to Austin AF. Today, I have Bryce Hirschberg, who's coming into studio today to talk all about Too Hot to Handle, how he got into reality TV, and honestly, some lessons that he's learned from it. And it's funny because I've actually known Bryce for a few years, actually like almost 8 years, I want to say. And so it's kind of been really wild to watch his journey and seeing him on national reality TV, right on Netflix, being a star of a show and gaining seriously followers overnight. So I wanted to kind of talk about that and how it is being a reality star, and if I would ever go on a reality TV, and why people love to watch reality TV in terms of dating, especially. So before he comes in, let's talk about that for a hot sec, because I find it so freaking intriguing how so many people are obsessed with The Bachelor, Love Island, Too Hot to Handle. Meanwhile, I'm not trying to be like, I don't watch any of this, I find it trash. I really don't watch any reality TV. And I almost feel bad because Bryce, when he comes in, I really don't have any idea what the show is about that he was on. I remember seeing trailers. I've seen obviously his Instagrams about it, but I don't watch reality TV. I find it really stupid, especially the Bachelor franchise. No offense. I know we had Kay York City and even someone like her come in, and we had Ben Smith from The Bachelor, who's an amazing person. And he even said himself, it's just not the same. And everyone who is reality stars, every single person I've interviewed on Austin AF can agree that reality TV and their experience about it is just not that real. And I think a lot of the time, in my LA bubble, my friends understand that reality TV isn't real. But if you guys are listening to this, I just want to let you know that the producers make storylines. It is a lot of the time completely false. And when the reality stars are really good friends with the producers try to become their friends. So the stars of the show trust them. So when they do something crazy and the producer's like, oh my God, no, that's a really good idea, they want that person to trust them. So they become their friend. And it's like this weird storyline that comes out, but at the same time, it is a little bit real because you feel so crazy when we're on this island. It is literally manipulated truth, meaning, yes, these people are doing what you see on TV. If someone's like on The Bachelor, hey, can I steal you for a second? Obviously, that's not fake. That person's going and doing it. Their actions are real. But at the same time, the producers are manipulating them to do those things. The producers want to be the stars' friends so that they trust them to do these things on the show. At the same time, imagine being locked on an island or in a house with the same people for weeks at a time without your phone. I have had the littlest experience with this possible. And the only thing I can possibly relate this to is when I did Sports Illustrated Swimsuit, and I was in a hotel with the same girls and the same people and the same team for 5 straight days. And I thought it was my end all be all and nothing else was going on outside of the world. And literally by the day 6, I was like, holy shit, does the outside world exist? I was going fucking crazy. I can't imagine being in a house, being on an island with the same people for even 8 weeks at a time. And so I think sometimes people go in with the intention of say a girl is 22 years old and she's like, I'm looking for the love of my life. I've been looking my entire life for this one person. I think at first she's probably fibbing a little bit. I think she just wants fame. She wants the followers on Instagram. But sometimes when you get in there, and I'm just going off of what I think would happen, in my opinion, would happen to me, and there's almost no one else around, and you think that man is your end all be all, and other girls or other guys are competing for that person as well, and there's some prize involved, and then you also know that cameras are around you filming and you're going to be seen on national TV, a competitive side comes out in you, and also you might actually think that you are in love with this person. I think that when Caleb from Love Island came on, I think that might have happened with him and Justine, because he might have thought he was in love with her on the show. This is just totally my opinion off of our episode with him. But he probably thought he was okay, cool, I would love to be in a relationship with you in the house on the show. But when you escape to the real world, this is not real. This is not actually how relationships can work and handle, because they're stuck in a place where nothing else exists. The Bachelor, when there's one person and one guy and 20 girls, girls, like, I don't know about you, I can't imagine competing with 19 girls from my current boyfriend at the time. I actually wouldn't do it. I was reached out to by The Bachelor. I was reached out by Love Island twice. I was reached out by a producer actually last week to do a new reality show that is going to be on a major platform like Netflix or Hulu. And they were like, we want it to be a friendly competition show. And it's not a dating show, so it's fine if you have a boyfriend. But you never know what's going to happen because you're going to be stuck in London in a house for at least 6 weeks. And right away I stopped her. I was like, hi, whoa, so sorry. I cannot do this. First off, I have major anxiety. Number two, I don't want to put myself out there on a platform without knowing what's going to happen next. I think a lot of the times, you can look at reality stars and be like, damn, well, I'd get followers overnight. I'd probably be an influencer overnight and be making so much money. I have no idea how someone, especially the producers and the editors, are going to edit me. They can make up an entire storyline about me. And I think sometimes they have made up those storylines about people. Someone as a bad guy, someone as a good guy, someone as the sensitive one. And they might have a little bit of that, in real life. But reality TV, again, manipulated truth. I want you guys to know that. And what you see on TV isn't always real. I think we all know that. But take a step back. The Kardashians is fucking scripted. Let's be real. I stand by that. And now, before we get into the episode, I want to harsh transition here, but I feel like we're done talking about reality TV before Bryce comes in because you guys all know that it's like manipulated truth. So anyways, let's talk about one of my favorite hydration products. It is called LMNT. And the reason I love it so much, they are on-the-go packets of electrolyte drink mix to make sure you are staying hydrated. They also come in so many delicious flavors, just like lemon habanero, mango chili, chocolate salt. And all you do is you rip open the package, you put it in your water. You guys can take it anywhere on the go if you all are traveling, or if you guys work out a lot like me and you're sweating, you want to really replenish and recharge yourself with hydration, electrolytes, and especially salt. It actually has 100 milligrams of sodium, which can really help retain the water as well, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium as well. So it's packed with nutrients, not only amazing flavor, but I always say this about LMNT. I love it because it really helps me when I'm drinking alcohol as well. It is so important to especially stay hydrated and replenish with electrolytes when you are consuming alcohol. So if you guys drink like me, you work out a lot like me, you're on the go, maybe you're traveling and you forget to drink a lot of water, make sure to try LMNT. I highly recommend it. And if you guys want a free drink sample of this hydration mix, all you guys have to do, yes, I said free, all you guys have to do is drinklmnt.com/AustinAF. By the way, that is spelled drink LMNT.com/AustinAF. Or you guys can just press the link right down below to visit that page as well. And now let's get into the episode with Bryce. All right, Bryce. Well, thank you so much for coming to Austin AF today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I was just saying before we started this, I love podcasts.
You do? Okay, so why do you love podcasts?
Well,
obviously me too.
No, for sure. Number one, I love to talk all the time. I just talk.
That's
Chatty
good.
Cathy. But also, when I started doing all these podcasts, it was after, I'm sure we'll talk about Too Hot to Handle. I was after Too Hot to Handle, and Too Hot to Handle came out during the lockdown, like super yes. lockdown, like you can't leave your house lockdown. So we did lots of podcasts. We were all via Zoom. So as soon as people were like, "Hey, Bryce, could you come into a studio to do a podcast?" I'm like, "Can we cuss on this thing?"
Oh yes,
absolutely.
That's the name of the show is Austin AF as fuck.
Right.
So
true.
yes, of course, you can cuss. You can say anything you want. No filter.
No, good. I don't have much of it, so it's nice. I do have good media training though. So
good.
So
did Too Hot to Handle give you media training, or you just had to learn it?
A little bit. They prep you and make sure you're not a complete idiot on
national TV
and TV. But yeah, I think lots of years of practice to make sure I don't get caught up. But love doing this stuff.
Good. Well, I'm happy to have you here.
Yeah,
and we're going to get into Too Hot to Handle and everything in reality TV and what you're doing next too. But I just want to let everyone know that Bryce and I have actually known each other for a little while now.
Wow.
Like 8 years?
It's got to be, because you're a Delta Gamma, right?
I was a DG, baby. ITB, yeah.
My brother was DG Anchorman.
Yes, he was. Barrett, shout out.
What are they like? You were like a year apart from Barrett or same
I
year?
think I was a year younger than your brother.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And then we had neighbor friends that lived by you, and I used to kick her butt in ping pong. She'll say I didn't, but I definitely did.
I don't know why you're saying that because it's not true.
No, it's true. I bring the cameras out here as a ping pong table. I really was. My first question was, is this podcast at your place? Because we could play ping pong.
Literally, yes. And that's my family's like go to, and someone comes over. It's like the nice icebreaker. It's like, are you good at ping pong? Let's play. But I was wondering, do you still live on your boat?
Still do.
You still live on your boat. So if you guys don't know, Bryce has a boat, and you guys have had it for forever now, right?
Yeah, we got it for me to live on in June 1st, 2013.
Wild.
And I've lived on it ever since.
What prompted you to want to live on a boat?
Yeah, that's a good question. Haven't had that one before. Just kidding.
Oh.
When you get on a boat, it's like, why? No, but yeah. No, all my friends live in the marina, and I wanted to be by all my friends. I went to LMU. I didn't go to USC, but I was 2 years older than my brother, so I did my last 2 years at USC, I always like to say. As far as the partying goes, not a lot of partying at LMU. But all my friends lived in Marina Del Rey, and I was living in a regular apartment, just like a regular person. And it was expensive. And my parents started sending me Craigslist ads, like you could live in a studio in Culver City for like $1,000 a month. Now, you can't get that now, but back in the day, it's like, that's still too expensive. Eventually, my dad sent me a listing. You could live on a boat. And I'm like, I'd live on a boat. And he's like, would you? I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, let's go find a boat. You could live on it. So basically, we found like this insane deal on this boat in Utah. And we bought it for like not a lot of money.
Dang.
And we got it shipped over, driven, and it hit the 10 freeway overpass when it got here. And it totaled the boat.
No.
And I'm homeless at this point, and I see this broken boat coming at me. I have like a U-Haul full of all my stuff from my apartment. I'm just like, oh my God. But it still floated or whatever. So for the next 3 months, I lived on this broken boat until insurance ended up totaling it and giving us like way more than it was worth. So we bought the boat I live on now.
Damn. Okay, this might be a stupid question, but did you have any like boating experience before starting to live on a boat?
Well, I always grew up by the water, right? Okay. And loved the water and done like my water skiing and jet skiing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But never like I had probably never driven a boat even.
Wow.
And this is like a big boat, and it's a tough boat to drive because it is such a big boat. But it's pretty much my first time with that experience. Yeah.
My first thing that I'm wondering is like when you bring home girls from the bar, they're like, oh, come home with me, and you bring them to a boat.
I like to tell them beforehand.
Do they usually think it's cool, or is anyone like, no, I won't. Like this might be a murder.
They all say it might be a murder. Are you going to kill me? That's what they all say.
That's what I would say.
They all say, are you going to kill me? And I say, I haven't been arrested for murder yet.
Oh, keyword yet. That's nice, Bryce.
And then they all come back to the boat.
Oh my dear
fun.
Lord.
It's different because when you're at a bar, I tell this, that's actually the first podcast that I've done with a female. So this would be interesting because I usually have like the boy banter. But why not?
Hey, I can boy banter. There's no sexism here. I can boy banter for sure.
Okay.
I can keep up with the men.
I know you can. This is just a new experience for me. It's like, okay. So I'll tell you. It's like girls asking me about girls coming to the boat. It's just always a unique thing. It's like, yes, it happens. And people say it's just like the biggest wingman ever, the boat. I'd say it like this. When you're at a bar, if some guy came up to you, well, besides the "if are you gonna kill me" thing, if some guy came up to you and was like, "Hey, come back to my place," you're like, I don't know. Like, I don't really know this guy, or like, where is his place, or like, does he have a roommate, whatever. Or it's like, hey, I live on my boat. You want to come check it out? You're like, immediately, you're like, well, that's kind of unique and interesting. I might just go look at it. Let's see what happens type thing. So I think a lot of people are like
intrigued by it.
Yes. They're like, oh, I don't have to go back to Bryce's place. I go back to his boat. It's not really going back to his place. It's going back to his boat and making excuses for himself. So
I think I'm way too logical because if you said, I live on a boat, come back to the boat with me, I'd be like, okay, so if I have to get up and go to the bathroom, where am I going to the bathroom? Where's my stuff going to be? How am I going to get off and on this boat? I would be way too overthinking
That's
it.
interesting. Yeah.
As a girl,
that's very smart.
I would be like, I feel way more comfortable at an apartment or a house.
Do you think girls think that?
I do.
That's
Duh.
interesting
Yeah.
because they have these questions when they get on the boat. Like, okay, so like, where do I pee? Now I have a couple bathrooms on the boat. It's not a big deal.
Well, I also have extreme anxiety, so that's not even a fucking question.
That could be it as well. Yeah. I think it's more catered to the go with the flow, fuck it crowd.
I guess it would be really cool to be like, you know, if you were a girl and you're doing a one-night stand. I've actually never gone home with a guy from a bar in my life. Fun fact.
Nice.
Yeah,
I've never brought a girl home from a bar.
It's not really.
I don't know. I have to think about it.
I think you're being sarcastic. I'm not like a prude or anything. I just have never done that. I have very high anxiety and I just would never.
Yeah.
I have to like know the person very, very well before I go back to their place.
Right.
I just feel like it would be a cooler story. Like I woke up on a boat.
Yes.
Like it was the craziest night. I woke up on a boat.
Right. I
You
think,
know?
yeah, a lot of the times, especially, well, I mean, nowadays, who knows? Whatever the case, there's whoever, for whatever reason, people do like coming
Saying
into the
that,
boat.
yeah. So you actually invited my sister and I onto your boat back in the day.
Back in the day.
And we never went on
Mhm.
because we get seasick.
Mhm.
And you think seasick isn't a thing.
Mm-mm.
For all my seasick gals or guys and out there, seasickness is a real thing.
Seasickness is not a real thing. Just like hangovers really aren't a real thing. It's mental. Everything's mental.
Okay, agree to disagree.
Well, see, like if you have high anxiety, right?
Yes.
That is all in your head, right? But it affects your stomach, right? When you get anxiety, for me, it affects your heart
Yeah.
sometimes. It
Yeah.
affects your whole body because your mind is that powerful. As you could convince your mind otherwise. Like there's something called, well, plug this thing. It's called a relief band, right? So it's like something that you put on your wrist and it like shocks you every once in a while. That's just essentially confusing your brain to not make you seasick, right? Instead of like
Interesting.
taking like a what's that thing that
The nausea pill.
yeah, it starts with a D, whatever.
Did
We don't have it because we don't believe in seasickness. Dramamine, thank you. Dramamine, of course. No, we do have it. Because, yeah, okay. I get people get seasick, and I've been seasick before, like on a trip to Catalina when I'm like 10 years old. But like, it's like I don't get hungover because my mind's too strong.
What's your craziest boat story? Sorry, I'm
Oh
just
my
like really
God.
switching subjects there. I know you have a crazy one.
My craziest boat story. I have a fun boat story.
Let's hear it.
Um,
And then we'll move on from boat stuff.
That's fine. This is actually you have to explain why you weren't here. My brother invited a bunch of DGs back to our boat for like some sort of event. I don't know what events they would be, but there were like 25 DGs that came to the boat.
I actually remember being invited. I'm not even just saying
But
that.
you're seasick, fair enough. I mean, whatever excuses that you have. So everyone comes, but my dad's busy. Well, my dad lived in Orange County at the time. They both live in LA next to us right now in Marina Del Rey. So my brother's like, we gotta take it out. It's like I'll be on a Thursday or something. Like, could we drive it? Like my brother and I. He's like, do you think we could do it? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, how many girls are going? I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, well, I'll make it happen. You know.
Yeah.
So my brother and I, we take it out ourselves. Everything's going nice because the hardest part about driving this boat is parking it and backing it out.
Okay.
Right? Because imagine parking a car with the street moving. It's kind of difficult, but if you time it out, it's not bad. So everything's going great, and we're out at sea, and everyone's having a blast. All the girls are having fun, and on our way back in, we get pulled over by the sheriff's department.
Damn.
And there's a difference between boat cops and like cops. Boat cops are fucking cool. They just don't care. They just see a bunch of girls on a boat and they're like, let's pull these guys over, whatever, just jump on and say, hey, at least that's what we're thinking. So they get on and we've been boarded, it's called. We've been boarded by cops before because of our parties that we have. So we know the routine.
You're so fucking cool.
Well, because we have lots of girls. So
Let's go, girls.
people that aren't seasick, exactly. So we go and I know where all the things that they're gonna ask for. The extinguishers are right here. This blah 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 blah. And they're like, okay, well, you have like 30 people on the boat. Do you know you have to have a life jacket per person?
Yes.
And they're like, so they like get their ticket book up. They're like, so I'm like, I have 30 life jackets. because we happened to have like 37 life jackets on this boat.
Oh shit.
So we started pulling out these life jackets and everybody starts putting them on. So everyone, like, they didn't have to put them on, but everyone's like, life jackets, how fun, right? So everyone starts putting on these life jackets. And I wish I had, I'll send you the picture because I have the picture.
Let's superimpose it.
Whenever the guy's like, okay, I believe you. Like, no. So I kept throwing them out and I had the cop take a picture of all of us wearing our life jackets. And they're just like big squad. You see how many people you recognize that are there. But good.
That's so funny.
The craziest part about that story is we have to turn off our engines while they boarded us.
Yes.
When we turn it back on, some wiring was up and our steering wheel didn't work.
Oh, fuck.
So I had to park the boat without steering. Now, luckily, there are 2 engines on the boat. So you could technically turn a boat using the engines, like going forward and reverse on 2 engines. You could turn a boat like that.
Were the girls scared?
I didn't tell anybody.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm just like, I better fucking park this thing.
Oh my god.
And it was tricky. I told my dad afterward. It was like landing a plane. It was the most exhilarating thing in my life.
Damn.
But yeah.
Well, no pun intended, switching gears here.
Yes, that's not
Boating
bad.
gears. I want to now talk about Too Hot to Handle. What we all came to this podcast for, baby. So, what are you doing before the show?
Mm-hmm.
How did you get approached to do it? Let's start there.
Okay, so in 2018, I got out of a very long-term serious relationship. I thought this girl was going to be the one.
Oh.
She broke up with me. That year, the years leading up, I made a movie called Counterfeiters.
Yes, oh my god, I remember.
Yeah, and it did really well, and it was in theaters and stuff. And but it didn't lead to anything. It didn't lead to a big agency, and it didn't lead to another movie. It was just kind of disappointing. So I was a bit down. I was a bit sad, and then she broke up with me, probably because I was such a bummer. Whatever the case, I was very, very sad.
Oh,
it was one of the worst times of my life. It was probably like around November of 2018.
Damn.
When I was like rock bottom. But then, as some weird manifestation thing that I've been truly trying to believe in and actually believing in these days, because I think it's weird how the universe works like this stuff.
Yep.
My car was also a piece of junk at the time. And I'm like, I'm getting rid of my car. Like it was just costing me so much money and I'm just really depressed at this time. So I'm like, I'm looking for a lease. And I'm looking at these lease deals and I find right next to this studio right here, an Alfa Romeo dealership that had this amazing lease deal for like a 2-year lease where I'll be paying basically nothing for this car, which is a beautiful luxury.
And Alfa Romeo is a great car.
Amazing car. So I got this car and I just felt like $1 million. And I felt like everything was going to turn for me. And like 2 weeks later, I got a DM request from a casting person. Now, this isn't the first DM request I've ever gotten in my life to be on a reality show. It's like, but usually I ignore it. I think I was with a girl at the time who I opened up at this point I had like 1 DM request.
Yeah.
And so I looked at the one.
Well, to what you have now.
Right, exactly. Now I have, it's like, so to my 1 DM, I'm like, what is this like random DM request? Wow. First one that I've ever gotten of those,
Yeah.
And it's like you be on the show from the makers of American Idol and a bunch of stuff. So I know it's Fremantle because I've worked in that business, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm like big production company.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, it's a major streaming platform. So I'm thinking, maybe. And then I was reading it aloud and this girl was like, you should do it. I'm like, I'm like, maybe. So he DM'd him back and immediately this girl's like, can I call you right now? And they're in the UK. So I'm like, sure. So I'm like, give me 1 second. So I go on the phone with this girl, Kate, who basically was like, yeah, it's a show. They didn't say it's a dating show. They say it's a show, bunch of beautiful people in an exotic location, filming in a couple months, and it'll be on a major streaming platform. And I'm like, great. She's like, do you care to guess which one? I can't tell you, but I'm thinking Hulu. They're like, what's Hulu? Because they don't have Hulu in the UK.
Oh,
so
that's funny.
I'm like, Netflix? They're like, would you be interested? I'm like, yeah, I'd be interested in that.
Damn.
So basically,
do you know how they found you over DM though?
I think through Boat Chronicles.
Oh, your boat Instagram.
My boat Instagram. They probably saw the parties and whatnot, the pictures of me and 25 girls, and they're probably like, that guy maybe.
Like a little Dan Bilzerian-esque.
Yeah, a little bit like that, right? But
so do you like Dan Bilzerian? Do you look up to him?
Do I look up to him? I think that what he does is pretty darn cool. He has a really nice page.
He is extremely
I've never met him before.
Not for me.
No.
I just find what he does extremely sexist, and the way he uses girls is horrifically disgusting. Anyways, we can continue with the show.
No, but I agree with that. And I've actually had social media people, like managers and whatnot, since the show's come out. We could talk about that as well. But they're like, this got to be your brand. You got to be the boat guy with the Dan Bilzerian and all the girls. I'm like, that's not really what I do.
And you have so much more like experience with like acting and movies and directing, and you know,
I don't want to be that guy.
You don't want to be that guy. Also, you don't want to end up with a girl who wants to be one of those girls.
Absolutely not. That's the number one reason.
Yes.
I need a sweet girl.
Anyways, back to Too Hot to Handle.
So I did a couple auditions, like a 90-minute Zoom call with them. And it went really well. It was really long. I did the song and dance literally. Like I got my piano out and sang for them.
Shut the front door.
And they actually made me do a dance as well.
No.
Take my shirt off and dance for them.
And so how long was the process after that?
About 2 weeks later, I got an email saying, all right, you're going to be a finalist. Now, the amount of times I've heard like, oh, I'm going to be a finalist on Love Island. You know what I mean?
Totally.
But it's like, for whatever reason, I felt really confident about this.
Hell yeah.
And I'm like, okay. Then they were like, all right, we're going to fly everyone out to meet you in person. In this case, they flew everyone out to LA. I live in LA. So they flew out and then met me. It was Valentine's Day 2019. It was pouring rain.
So long ago.
And I was with a different girl at the time who was getting me ready for this audition. At this point, we don't know it's a dating show. We just think it's a Netflix show. So she's like, good luck, Bryce. You know?
Stop.
You know? I'm like, thanks.
That's your girlfriend?
No, it's not my girlfriend. We're just I like dating this girl. It's Valentine's Day. We spent Valentine's Day together. So it's like, woke up Valentine's Day morning. Good luck, sweetie, you know? So pouring rain. I remember walking in and met Amy and Rowena are the two producers on the show. And I was just like, I apologize for the rain. It's not usually like this. So it was like your first time in LA. And I basically did like this audition in person for another hour and a half. And then basically they would WhatsApp me every day at like 4 a.m. for the next month, asking like a random question.
What?
Like, what's your favorite food? Or like, if you could choose tropical or this, or like, if you sushi or I think they just wanted to get some bit of a profile on me, just to get see while they're building their story. What's your type? Are you a blonde or a brunette? You know, like stuff like that. What's your best friend's phone number? What's your parents' phone number? They called everybody. They talked to everybody. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So
okay.
They want to get that tea.
Wait, I didn't watch the show. What was your storyline on the show?
Well, don't watch the show. It's not that good. I'm just kidding.
I watched like the preview and like research you, obviously like a trailer or whatever. But like I didn't. That's not my type of TV.
Yeah.
So what was your storyline?
Yeah. Okay. So. If you don't know anything about Too Hot to Handle, it's about a bunch of sexy singles who are, their big thing that everyone has in common is they like to have sex.
Oh,
right.
That's nice.
That's like their thing. You could almost call it like a sex rehab, because you're not allowed to touch, kiss, have sex, or masturbate. You can't masturbate.
You can say it.
Yeah, you can't masturbate either. If you do any of those, you lose money for everybody. There's a big pot of money.
How do they know if you'll masturbate?
There's cameras everywhere, including the bathrooms and the showers.
When you're taking a shit.
Yeah, they're not rolling those cameras, but they are there just for like that purpose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you knew this before?
I know. I didn't know that this was what the show was about at all.
So you get there thinking it's a show on Netflix.
Oh, I'm like, I'm gonna meet these hot girls. Like, it's gonna be a crazy fun time. I'm gonna make like a name for it's gonna be a lot of like, the hottest.
And
girls.
You get there and they're like, there's cameras everywhere.
Well, I knew there's gonna be cameras.
Okay.
But I didn't know that we weren't allowed to touch each other or yourself. You get backed up for a long time in there, I'll tell you.
Do I live under a rock?
You ever heard about this show?
Do I actually live? Okay, so I obviously know like Francesca and Harry Jowsey and you off of it, of course. And I know the people who came off of it.
Right.
And I know like they're on Too Hot to Handle, and I know the people on Love Island. I've never actually fucking seen shows. Yeah,
okay. Well, this one's, it's a bit... some of the shows are really good. And our show isn't just trash reality. It's basically, it's a retreat. So we do workshops about learning to love yourself and growing and trying to communicate without using like physical touch and stuff like that. You actually learned a lot. I became a much happier person after the show was done.
Did you hook up with anyone on the show?
I lost money on the show. Yeah.
Did you?
I did.
Oh man. Did you learn anything really like that you would say, wow, I'm really glad I did this? Obviously you just said you became happier. Is there one thing that you're like, damn, I'm really happy I did this because I learned this?
Well, yeah, no, that's a big thing, especially in the finale. Well, there's a bunch of different workshops that we did, but we really dug deep and basically expressed our demons and like discarded our demons. Like we washed them away in the sea. We burned them in fire. We're like anything that I was bullied when I was younger. We talked about that. We talked about different things where it's like eventually you gotta it's just making. Why is there people?
Oh, we have a. I was talking about something deep right here. Let's bring in some sushi.
There you go. See, that's his way.
Bryce's favorite food.
Yeah,
right?
It's my favorite food.
Hell yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Here you go. Just in case you want to fill up on some sushi before you spill some tea.
Anyways, what I was saying was we got to really expel our demons, and it was a nurturing environment. And when I returned from the show, I was just so happy with myself after being so down on myself for so long, so many insecurities and so many different things. I didn't have any insecurities. It's the weirdest thing.
Do you think that you felt happier after the show because you released the demons or because you were getting a lot of validation and attention after the show?
No, because the show actually didn't air for a year.
Interesting.
So we got back in the end of April 2019, and it aired in April 2020.
Holy shit. So you're sitting on this for a year thinking I may or may not be famous?
Right.
Wow.
This show may or may not come out.
Did you go on the show to become famous?
I go on the show for exposure, absolutely. When I found out it was Netflix, it was like, at first I'm like, I've seen reality shows, MTV, stuff like that. You get a couple, maybe 10, 20,000 followers or something like that. And I was talking to this girl I was dating at the time. She goes, no, it's Netflix. It's 192 countries. Like,
yeah,
it's like numbers. You'll get lots of followers. You're like, your movie, Bryce, will be seen by lots of people.
I really respect you, Bryce, because most of the people who say they go on these dating reality shows are looking for love. But you said you went on for exposure. Yeah. And I respect the honesty. I really, really do.
I can't take all the credit. Again, this wasn't a dating show. We had no idea what this show was. So looking for love I wasn't really looking for love at the time. I was looking for exposure.
Damn. So they didn't even tell you that it was going to be a dating show before you got there. Mm-mm. Wow. Yeah. What was the exact thing that they told you then? Just
sexy singles, tropical location, Netflix.
Very, very
Which
cool.
is a great pitch.
Wow.
Great pitch, yeah.
So once it came out, did you notice a difference of, obviously getting more attention, but the way people treat you?
Okay, so this is unique because when our show came out, it was, even though you didn't see it, the biggest show ever because of everyone being locked inside.
No, I remember when it came out specifically because I remember you were on it. Obviously, we know you. Me and my sister know you. And we're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
What's going on? Like, Bryce is on the show, whatever. So obviously, I remember when it came out, like height of lockdown.
Yes, height of lockdown. So when we're getting famous, like really famous, and like hundreds of thousands of millions of followers, right? We can't leave the house or the boat in my case, right? So I would go on like walks with my mom around the marina, and like girls would like ride their bikes up to me and want to take a picture, but once a day.
Crazy.
Because that's it though. Do you remember there was a gap between when did coronavirus go away? Right when around George Floyd. Because there were
June, it was like June from September of last summer.
Exactly. So there was, because I remember at the time we were at one of these bars and they were rioting in 3rd Street and stuff like that. But around that time, I was going to bars and stuff and just getting mobbed by dudes.
Oh my God.
Mobbed by guys want to take pictures and a couple girls here and there, and like blah blah blah. But like just tons of fandom. But it wasn't until I I go to Cabo all the time. It wasn't when going to Mexico and it really hit me because not only is everyone a tourist, so they're like from Idaho and, Wisconsin, but they're like in Mexico. It was big in Mexico. It's a #1 show in every country. So it was like, boom.
That must have been super mentally mind-fucking in a way.
It was unique. Do you mind if I have a couple?
Absolutely.
Do you like edamame, by the way?
I'm good. I had Chipotle before this.
I saw that.
But I think that must have been super mind-fucking because all of a sudden you go from not being nobody, but no followers to overnight success, fame online, but can't see it in real life.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it overnights in real life. It's kind of this weird, it almost like it's like a Black Mirror type shit
It's
where you're
very
like,
Black Mirror.
where you're
right.
famous, but you're not because you can't see anyone.
Exactly. People would say, which they're right. It's like you have the thing where it's like we missed out on a lot of opportunity from not being able to leave. Like as far as appearances, promotions, budget cuts, stuff like that. We could have made probably a lot more money if the world was normal, right? But would we be nearly as famous?
Yeah.
Probably not, because everyone was forced to watch Tiger
So
King and Too Hot to
true.
Handle. That was
That's
it.
so
You know what I
fucking
mean?
true. Wow. So you
Isn't
kind
that
of,
crazy? Blessing and a curse,
Yes, exactly what I was going to say. And then moving on from that, is there, opportunities that you saw arose from Too Hot to Handle, or at the same time? I know you were, into movies before. Do you think the reality show hurt your chance of more movies, or it just helped?
That's interesting. So, I have a couple thoughts on this. So, like 6 years ago, let's call it 6 or 7 years ago, the idea of Netflix was like a joke. Me and Barrett almost had a show called Boat Chronicles that was going to be a reality TV about us living on this life. And they're like, "Do you want us to pitch Netflix?" And we're like, "Nah, we want MTV. We want E. We want Bravo. We want Oxygen.
Yeah.
Give us Fremantle, like, or give us Freeform. Give us anybody." They're like, "You don't want Netflix?" We're like, "Nah," because no one was watching Netflix,
or especially on that platform.
On that platform.
Reality.
Yeah, no. Even before then, YouTube. No one was on YouTube. No, reality TV was garbage. You don't want Jersey Shore, trash. Real World, blah blah blah. These days, reality TV is the biggest platform for people to become somebody. It's like the stigma of reality TV is totally gone, because what is like the biggest currency now is following.
Absolutely.
So almost the only way to get a really big following is to be on a show. Fast, right? Unless you're going to build it from scratch like you did. Now, I'm talking real quick, and it's what you do with it from there. I was telling you a little bit ago, and it's not 100% thing, but I have an opportunity to be in a really, really big movie as a really big role that could be filming in Spain next month.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Knock on wood. Is this wood around here? Knock on wood. Let's go.
Baby.
But like, I think that part of that not only is because I could act and stuff like that, and I had to audition and whatnot, but I think probably an element of that is I have a following.
Addison Rae.
Right.
He's all that.
Oh my God. Did you watch that? It was not bad.
She is the only reason it went number one.
Yeah.
It was a shit movie, no offense, but she actually was a star of it. Amazing actress. I am in love with her.
Yeah.
And she's the only reason I watched it. Truly.
I think she did good.
She did phenomenal.
Really good job.
Absolutely amazing. It was a little bit cheesy of a movie, but at the same time, she is literally the only reason I watched it, because I love her as a social media star, which is the craziest thing.
Right? It's so much love.
It's wild.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's so wild, because I watch things. It's almost like a sports game as well. Why do I like the Warriors more than any other team? It's not because, sometimes they're fun to watch. But
is this the truth?
Yeah.
You
but
like
it's
the
because
Warriors?
I love Stephen. What?
Like the Warriors?
Yes.
Where are you from?
Virginia. My dad represents Stephen.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was trying to say, like, the only reason I like the team is because I have bias because of who, I love Stephen, and I like, who else do I love? I love the Lakers because
Lakers. There you go.
Wesley Matthews was on it, but like it only depends on the person,
right, and the relationship with it. Sure.
Exactly what you're trying to say. Same thing with like social media and stars. Like for you to be in a movie is really smart, because if someone likes you, they're going to watch the movie,
right? Exactly,
and not because they think that it's going to be a really good movie. You're in it, so they're watching.
Exactly. Now probably a very, very small, because there would be a lot of other people, big name actors they'd probably really go for, but they're like, oh, Bryce is in it too. Why not? I can help promote it if they even need that. But I think that is actually only helping my career at this point.
Yeah. And then you also told me before we filmed this show that you're going to do something else.
Yeah. So it's very, the craze. First time anyone's ever going to hear this. And it will be officially announced probably pretty soon. But yes, I'm going to be in a celebrity boxing match. Do
you know who you're fighting?
I do know who I'm fighting.
You do?
I know that I'm going to beat his ass too.
Wow. By the way, this could be the first press conference for the match right here. Bryce, what do you want to say
fuck is that guy?
Opponent.
He knows what I mean when he's there. I'm going to buy his ticket to Mexico for him. I'll tell him all the best places. He wants to go pick hermit crabs. I'll tell you where the hermit crabs are. He knows what I'm talking about.
Wow. Okay. And are you ready to really box someone?
Oh, I'm born ready. I'm a big boxing fan. Always been my whole life. My first movie I ever made was about this boxer named Max Baer.
Cool.
And my mom loved Oscar De La Hoya growing up. I always watched Oscar. He's got a fight coming up.
He does.
Next week, I think.
Triller.
Yeah, Triller. I watched when Oscar lost to Floyd, and then Floyd became my favorite boxer. I'm a big Floyd Mayweather fan. So, big boxing fan. Never boxed anybody in a ring on pay-per-view and Fight TV, which I'm very excited for.
Oh my God.
But I'm training like a madman for the next 3 months.
Yeah, you are. Eat that sushi.
I'm saying eating lean, eating healthy. This is probably going to be the worst thing I eat, even though it's great. And just like I'm doing everything. And I'm not a big workout person at all. So this is going to be quite the journey for me.
Well, if you want to work out, let me know.
I probably will go through one of your workouts too. I've seen those. I'm like, I get tired watching your videos.
Are there other reality stars going to be involved in this boxing match?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I think, no offense to you, reality stars would be the most punchable people.
Oh, for sure.
Ever.
Mm-hmm.
Probably ever.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to knock out a reality star.
Which one?
I don't really watch reality TV.
If you could box anybody in a celebrity boxing fight, if they...
Oh, who do I hate?
I don't want to say hate, but sure.
Oh, who do I dislike? Oh God, I can't say it.
Sure you can. Please.
Oh my God.
This is your headline.
I can't say no.
Yes, you can.
There's this girl from The Bachelor who drives me up the fucking wall. I literally don't know her in real life, but I think she is just so fucking
Which one?
Her name
Let's
is...
start with.
It starts with an M.
With an M. That could be anybody.
We're going to cut that out.
No, we're not. We got to keep that. I hope someone's rolling that everywhere. I want that piece. Would you fight somebody in a boxing match?
Absolutely. I'm an aggressive motherfucker.
I believe it.
I played lacrosse in college.
So did I.
I had bruises all over my body, and I'm a very aggressive person. I really like to... No, I'm serious. That's why I have to work out, because if I don't work out, I will fuck someone up.
Wow.
Yeah. And I know I look like a dainty girl. I'm not. I'm just not. Yeah. I'm self-aware that I'm pretty aggressive, and that's why I work out, to like calm myself down and take it out on like my workouts and stuff. But I grew up playing lacrosse, and anyways.
I was an All-American lacrosse player, actually.
Were you?
Mm-hmm.
At what high school?
No, I was an All-American at Dana Hills, but then I went to Aliso Nagao.
Okay, nice. Well, California was, I'm from DC. California
you think you're a better lacrosse player than me?
Absolutely.
Okay.
No shot about it. We, in high school...
Well, it's chess and checkers, really.
In high school, yeah, they're not the same sport.
Mm-hmm.
In high school, my team flew out to California, and we were the number 2 school in the nation at the time.
Where was school?
Number 1, St. Stephen, St. Agnes.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of them. So I used to be on Lax Power all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Our team was up into 9 on Lax Power, a Orange County team.
That actually is really crazy. But we played the number 1 school in the state of California. We flew all the way to the Bay Area to play the number 1 school in California, cross country. Yeah, it was. How'd you know that?
I know lacrosse.
Damn, St. Ignatius. We played St. Ignatius. We beat them 23-1.
Wow.
Yeah. So like California's not that good at lacrosse.
Yeah, okay,
they're getting there. By the way, I graduated high school in 2012. I'm going 10 years back. So I played at USC as well. So let's hope the lacrosse world is growing here.
I'm with you.
In the West Coast. I really hope so. I'm actually out of the lacrosse world now completely.
Yeah, me too.
And there's also like the unicorns that come up, maybe like you in California. But overall,
right. No one knows
not
lacrosse.
As good. And this is how I'm so aggressive. I have points, and I'm very aggressive about them. I'm sorry.
No, that's good. Well, I mean, the point is, she wants to fight Madison Pruitt in celebrity boxing.
Cringing so
Let's go.
hard. Oh
Let's
my
go.
God.
I'll be there. I'll be in the ring. At this point, I'm going to be I feel like I'm going to become a very aggressive person by how much I'm going to be watching boxing and training. I'm going to be like wanting to fight everybody, I feel like.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if that's going to be really it, but in my mind, I'm going to be like method acting as a boxer. You know what I mean?
Well, let's hope we stay, away from people.
Right. Yeah,
and it's all the ring and it's all that, the punch bag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, Bryce, where can everyone find you?
Well, I do have social medias.
Really?
At Bryce Hirschberg. I also do TikTok. TikTok and Instagram are like my things.
What do you TikTok?
I dance and stuff.
Shut the fuck up.
And thirst traps.
I have to watch. With your shirt off?
Mm-hmm. Oh, speaking of this, check this out. Ready? Because I'm taking this very, very seriously.
Are you about to take your shirt off?
Kind of. because I'm taking this very seriously, I'm doing like all these like different workout things and blah,
Okay.
blah, blah. But I'm also going to a chiro and getting a bunch of stuff done, including
Cupping.
And so I
In
got
shape of a heart. That's cute.
Yeah, heart cup.
You're also very sunburnt.
That's not sunburn. That's probably just tan.
Oh.
Sunburnt. Come on. It's hot
Wow. Wow. It is honestly really hot in here.
here.
Wow. Well, I'm excited to look forward to this boxing match
Yes,
coming up and everything else you have.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on Austin AF. I appreciate you.
It was fun, AF.
Yes. Oh, thank you. All right. See y'all next week.
Bye.